Well, today I have a very special knife to talk about that I'm super excited. Um, yeah, so from Mountain Cutlery, Gene Baldwin is the owner of Mountain Cutlery. Here is his card with some contact information if you are so inclined to reach out to him. He's a great guy. We had an amazing time on this project. Now, if you saw the unboxing, you'll know that this is secret project number one. I kind of made some comments about that on a live stream and a couple of other things because I had this knife in the works since the day after I had Gene on the EDC Hour, my live stream podcast with Alex. So let's just dive right into the actual knife. I smile every time I look at this thing. It's just great. This is a gift for my son and his bride. Okay. So Gene started making knives, I think, like 3 years ago now, at the time of filming in October of 2024. He's been making knives for about 3 years. And mostly, it's all been fixed blades. Mostly, though, it's been more of the hunting and tactical style knives. And then I believe it started out with his daughter getting married. And because he makes knives, he made her a cake knife for cutting the cake. And somebody saw it and they wanted one. And then somebody else saw it and they wanted one. And now he's created kind of a separate company, Mountain Cutlery. The previous company, which is still there too, the more hunting version, is Rugged Mountain Blades. So he's still doing all of those, but he's also doing these cake knives, kitchen cutlery, that sort of a thing, right? So after I had him on the EDC Hour, we chatted about a knife for my son for his upcoming wedding. And then it became secret project number one because I couldn't tell my son. I didn't want to mention that I was doing something for my son on any of my videos and things like that. So that's how we got to where we are today. Now, this black tape here is covering my son and his bride's names and dates, their wedding date, because they're a little bit private, people. I mean, sure, they have Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, but, out of respect, I asked Gene to cover that so that I didn't have to worry about when I did the unboxing, it showing. So he has his own laser and he laser etched that in and it looks fantastic, but it's not my story to share about my son's wedding. So we're going to leave that off. All right. So let's get into some of the specs of this thing first. 12 and a half inches overall, 7 3/4 inch blade and cutting edge. Behind the edge is .017 and he did a 20-degree sharpening job on it. And this thing is sharp. Now, I don't know my way around the kitchen. Okay. I know how to cook frozen pizza. I know how to cook eggs and I know how to make hot dogs in the microwave. And I know how to make pizza rolls in the microwave, but I haven't done pizza rolls in years. But I know my way around some paper. And this thing is sharp. And I am sure it's going to cut meat, vegetables, and all that stuff that my son is going to use it for because he's also a chef by profession. He is a professional chef, has worked in many a restaurant, works in a restaurant right now, and makes some fantastic, amazing food. Obviously, he did not get that skill set from me. I'll just leave it at that. So the blade thickness is 0.18 if you care, and it's 0.875 on the handle. What we have here is blade steel let's just zoom in because it's just so amazing. We're going to zoom way in. This is from Baker Forge and Tool. This is their Firestorm Surge, they call it. Alternating patterns of, what do I have here? 25 layer Damascus with copper shims and 100 layer Damascus core. This thing is insane. Now, this is a pattern that I didn't pick. Well, I did pick. So when Gene and I started talking, he sent me 6 different steels from Baker Forge. And they were so wildly different that I thought, damn, I better ask my son. So my son does know that there is a knife being made. And all he knows is the stock picture of this steel was one of the choices. I sent my son 6 choices. He sent me back 2 and said, well, one of these 2. So he doesn't know which one I picked. He doesn't know anything about the scales for the handle. He doesn't know what the shape of the blade is. He knows nothing about it. He is excited and he's going to get it. By the time you guys are watching this, he'll have it for sure, right? That's why I'm not showing the unboxing yet, because I haven't physically given it to him. It's just beautiful. Everything about this knife is beautiful. Okay, so for the handles, we have Bloodwood from Kieran's Koa. And it was super great because Gene and I picked out the wood at Blade Show West a couple weeks back. So I got to meet Kieran's Koa, those folks over there, super great. They were fun. And while I thought the wood looked like it would be a good match, I didn't realize it was going to be such a fantastic match once this was sanded down, etched, once this was all sanded and polished and all that. I didn't know it was going to be like perfect. I could not have designed this better, I don't think. So, yeah. Now, there's 7 pins. Gene always uses 7 pins in his handles of all of his knives because he's a godly man and 7 is, God's number. But more importantly, it's my son's hockey number. My son is 34. He's been playing hockey since he was 6, mostly on, a little bit off in his last few years. Has a baby boy. I have a grandson. So he doesn't play hockey as often today, but he still goes with number 7. So yeah, super cool. Gene also etches his logo in the bottom here. So what else we got here? We got this sheath that is made, really not a sheath. You're not going to carry this, but it does give you a way to transport it. It gives you something to throw in the kitchen drawer. So it's not just a sharp blade sticking out, whatnot, running around. So this was made by James over at Concealment Solutions, who primarily has been making gun holsters for, I think, 15 years when I talked to him, if I remember right. And has been making all of Gene's knife sheaths for a couple of years. I guess since Gene started, maybe? Don't quote me on that. So, but he has been making the knife sheaths for Gene, and he does a great job because I've handled and carried some of his fixed blade knives in sheaths, and he does some that are, horizontal for scout carry, inside the waistband, outside the waistband. He can do some with loops for the belt or clips or ulti clips or a variety of attachment points. So James does a really good job. And the way he does these, kitchen type knife ones are awesome as well. He also can do clear, which they did try to do on this first, but it was a little too tight. They couldn't get it right because it's a thicker material. So it just didn't work as well for this particular knife. But I kind of like this better because while the clear shows the pattern, it kind of mutes the pattern, right? Because it's not crystal clear. It's a little bit, it's plastic clear, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So this, I think, just hides it and it looks like a normal knife until you pull it out and then you're surprised. So there you go. I will put a link to Mountain Cutlery's Instagram down below, so you can go check them out. I'll also put up in the corner the unboxing so you can see my excitement and all of that if you care, if you haven't seen it already. And I will put a link to, I'm going to add this to the Rugged Mountain Blade playlist, even though it's Mountain Cutlery, same thing. And I may put a link to that over here so you can see some of his fixed blades. I will absolutely own a couple of his fixed blades. There's a couple of models I want already. Why? Because Gene's a great guy. Quite frankly, I met him and his wife the first time I went out to Blade Show last year. This year, I saw his wife for a minute at the show. But last year, we all went out to dinner together. And he's just a genuine, honest, hardworking guy that would give you the shirt off his back if you asked. And you might not even need to ask. If he saw you needed the shirt, he would probably just give it to you. I like to support those kind of people. I don't need another fixed blade, but when he does work that's as phenomenal as this, and the fit and finish is superb, his tactical hunting fixed blades are equally beautiful. So yes, I will own a couple at some point that I will never carry, that I will rarely ever use, but it's what I do. I'm a crazy collector. And at some point, maybe I'll get my own chef knife. My girlfriend comes over and cooks sometimes, and she likes a sharp knife when she's doing stuff in my kitchen. So my kitchen gets used sometimes. All right. Yeah. If you can't tell, I'm super excited about my son getting married. I'm super excited to be able to do this and build this for him. I don't think he's going to take it to work to use, although I could see him taking it once to show people. That's up to him. But this is a piece that can really be handed down and used for years and years and decades if they take care of it. So, and it's the sharpest knife that Gene says he's ever produced thus far. And I will put a little video clip of him doing the paper towel tube cut at his house before he shipped it to me at the end of this video, if you didn't see it in the unboxing, because I think that's cool. It's just a thing. You knife people know it's a thing we do. And it does work because I did do a paper towel thing myself here, although the video came out really crappy. So I didn't really, but it does still work. It is crazy sharp, and Gene's a great guy. So go check him out. Thanks, everyone.